Hi guys, and welcome to another video in the How to Play Star Wars Legion game that was designed by Fantasy Flight Games. As of recording this video, the LAT for both the clones and the Imperials has literally just been released for everybody, so it's not on pre-order anymore, is what I'm trying to say. So, for the purpose of the video and videos afterwards, that's where the timeline for releases are. So today we're going to cover the Separatist characters. For the last video, I did say I was going to do Force users, but when I looked at it, I was like, well, Grievous, while he doesn't count as a Force user, the reality is that he'd be an honorable mention. So I was like, you know what, I'll include him in Count Dooku and then Darth Maul. And it's like, well, I might as well just do the other two and be here fully Separatist and be done with that, and then make it all fair. I must do the others. So these next so this video and 3 more will be coming out, which will be all on the individual characters for each of the factions. So go to that and that for now. So this map I've set up, I know it's not balanced. I don't care. Put it together to make it look interesting to some extent, and the clone troopers who have the green bases are there as test dummies for today. They have the green bases, so you guys can see exactly where they are. So quickly running through, we have a Saber tank, then we have some Phase 2 clone troopers with a Z6 rotary cannon, a generic clone commander, Phase 1s with a DC-15 kicking around somewhere, he says. My that squad. A Bark Speeder, and a use of 2 Arc Troopers up there. I did include one in, and a spare guy somewhere. Where is he? There he is, DC-15 guy, right on the end. So the clones are going to be the test dummies for today. I picked a variety of things, simply on the basis to show how the Separatist heroes can actually influence the game, both either themselves directly or indirectly. The man himself, well, Cyborg on technicality, but whatever. And it's General Grievous, he was the leader of the Separatist army during the Clone Wars until Obi-Wan Kenobi blammed the crap out of him with his own blaster in Attack of the Clones, I do believe. So we'll run through for each of the characters, the special rules, what makes them actually interesting, and how I personally would build them. So one of the things I've learned especially about Star Wars Legion is that the characters are designed to do their job. That's it. Trying to make them into something that they're not really doesn't work out all that well. Moving on to the actual special rules, we have Arsenal 2. So all Arsenal means is that that unit can use multiple weapons up to the number provided. In this case, 2. So Arsenal 2 allows General Grievous to use up to 2 weapons at any one time. So as he currently stands, he only has, when you just buy him straight off the shelf, as it were, without any upgrades, he has trophy lightsabers. So if we come over to here, we shall paint his base a nice bright red so we can actually spot him. He has 4 lightsabers, which are going to be, each one counts as every 2 he has counts as trophy lightsabers, hence the plural. So when he's in combat, he can use both sets, so both pairs of lightsabers would be the best way to describe it. And because of that, he gets to roll 2 red dice, 4 black dice, and 2 white dice, because he's literally doubling them up. Arsenal also allows you to target multiple units. So by that, we could go, for discussion's sake, he charges the clone troopers. I'll just dump him there for now. And he could put all 4 of his lightsabers, if he so choose, into the clone troopers. Or, if he wanted to, he could go something like this, get into base-to-base contact, and then put one of his weapons, which will be the 2 lightsabers, into the clone commander, and then the other 2 as one weapon into the phase 2 clone troopers. So we'll pull you back there. So he can have a lot of versatility. He does come with the option to carry a pistol as well, which I will put up. So Grievous should actually stay on the table. Yes, he does. So we go Grievous. Here we are. So his pistol is the DT57 Annihilator. So when we are looking at his pistol, it's not a bad gun. I've personally never taken it, but it's not a bad upgrade for him. So he can shoot it both at ranged up to range 2, which once again, if you're at home, you have the actual range rule, the range rule. But for Tabletop Simulator, we have this. So we have range 1 and range 2. So if he was equipped with the pistol, he could shoot all 3 of these clone units here, and he'd be within range and have the ability to actually shoot the BARC Speeder. Although, because of the range of the pistol, he would not be able to shoot the ARC Troopers, which are hanging out near the crashed T-47. The red icon here, which also is for here and here, shows it's melee, so he can shoot his pistol into combat, which is also described with the versatile rule. So you can perform range attacks with this. So you can also shoot this pistol in close combat as well. I'd be more inclined actually to use his lightsabers in all honesty, but that's just me. Critical 1 is actually really nice. So all that means is that when you're shooting his pistol, the surge. Do we need that token? Yes. So there are ways to get surge tokens, which I'll explain soon. But for discussion's sake, he has surge token. So he shoots his Annihilator pistol at the clone troopers here. So we'll roll the dice so you guys at home can see. So he has 2 black and 2 white dice to shoot at, or shoot with. 2 of them, 2 of them. And these are D8s, the others were D6s for reference. So we roll these. So this counts as a hit because that's the hit icon. That is a critical hit, and these are 2 blanks. So ordinarily, we can't do anything about it, but for discussion's sake, let's say he rolled a surge, which will be like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. That. Oh, it's 1 in 8 chance. So that is a surge to hit icon, which some weapons, some characters can get that built in. He does not, so we have to use a surge token to activate this this surge to hit ordinarily. So critical 1, and this only applies to the DT57 Annihilator, which when you're converting offensive surges, which their dice roll was, you can change up to 1 surge result into a critical result. So that joins the white die over here. That goes away. So this is where in this case, surges and whatnot can be useful. So this is light cover, and light cover reduces the amount of hits by 1. And that's just hits. Criticals pass right through cover. So there's nothing these clone troopers can do about these, at least in this current video anyway. So that goes away because the cover ignores it, and we put a suppression on because they got hit. That goes on to the unit leader, and the 2 clone troopers who got hit, they are phase 1. They, as you can see over here, have there's our troopers. There we go. They have 1 health each, and they have a red defense die. So we've got 2 hits, and we get 2 blocks. So they are perfectly fine in this particular case. Now, that's not to say the gun's terrible, but it's handy to know what it can do. One last thing with the Annihilator is it has the Pierce 1 special rule. And it says, while attacking, cancel 1 block dice result. So what we do is we revisit the dice pool. So normally we'd have had both clone troopers that got hit. That would have been, hurts, but we're fine. Pierce 1 cancels 1 of those. So what that means, it instantly goes into a blank, i.e. a model takes 1 wound. So because clone troopers only have, or the phase 1 clone troopers rather, have 1 wound, one of them dies. So we'll have this guy flip, and he's dead. That's the end of it. That token goes away. They go away. And then another unit, or he'll be free to charge in later on. So that's how Arsenal basically works there. It can also work out really well with Relentless, which we'll talk about as we go down the list. Block, while defending, if you spend a dodge token, you gain surge to block. So if you remember when the clone troopers took a shot at General Grievous, if he had a dodge token, which is this particular icon, you spend the dodge token. So the 3 hits that I said they would have caused with their, come on, where's the black die? Oh, right, I've broken it. Oops. So with the 3 hits, I think their weapons are black. Yes. So you spend the dodge token. That immediately cancels 1 of them. 1 hit. Crits can't ordinarily be. Crits can be dodged. Used to have dodge tokens on. Like I said, a proper video on the tokens will be out in due course. And then because General Grievous has spent a dodge token, he gets surge to block. So 2 red dice, which will be that. Takes 1 and blocks 1. But if we go that, so you roll a surge instead of a blank. That instantly counts as that as well as. So it helps him have a little bit more survivability, and that's literally because of his lightsabers. And the couple of times he boasted that he was trained, and I quote, in your Jedi arts by Count Dooku. So yeah, that's pretty much how block works. You can also use block in melee as well. Now, impervious, that ties hand in hand with Pierce. So Pierce, I know So let's go with, let's put Darth Maul for real quick. So Pierce allows you to ignore X defense dice, which in this case on Darth Maul is excuse me, 2. So Pierce 2 allows, in this case, Darth Maul to ignore 2 block dice. So quick rundown on Pierce is we have 2 of these, roll 2 hits. Defender has Defender has 2 of these, 2 defense dice. So 1 blank, doesn't matter, 1 guy's dead. Ordinarily he would save a model or save a wound. Pierce, at least Pierce 1, minimum of 1, will cancel 1. In this case, Darth Maul has Pierce 2, so we cancel up to 2 of these. So regardless whether the clones in this case had rolled both blanks, they would still would have taken 2 wounds because of Pierce 2. Now, you go away. Impervious, what that means is that while defending, if the attack pool has Pierce X, whether it's Pierce 1, Pierce 2, or Pierce 3, you roll that number of additional defense dice. So the Pierce 2 versus Impervious. So you roll 2 more, like so, then you roll the whole lot together. You go, okay, so Pierce 2 is that and that, cancelled that. So you save 1 guy and take 1 wound. That's literally how Impervious works. And it took me a long time to figure that out, actually, in all honesty. And I'm so glad I've got it, because Impervious is kind of common to some extent, actually, within the game. So that's the small crux of it. I will go back over that with a bunch of other special rules in due course in another video. So get rid of that. So yep, that is Impervious. A lot of units can be upgraded with Pierce. Some factions have it more than others, but I'm fairly sure that every single faction has the ability to get Pierce in some fashion. So, next one, Jedi Hunter. And this one, I must admit, is unique to General Grievous, which is while attacking a unit that has and that's a Force upgrade icon, you gain Surge to Crit. So let's break out let's go break out a Republic character, and that character shall be the boss man himself, Obi-Wan Kenobi. So Obi-Wan Kenobi, like all Force users, have Force powers. So let's say Force Push, Reflexes, Saber Throw, Mind Trick, stuff like this, and Guidance, Hope, and Force Barrier. So as long as the target, which in this case has to be a Jedi with the Force upgrade icon, you gain Surge to Crit against Jedi with that. So the Surge icon is that, and whenever you roll that, it will count as that icon, which is a critical hit. And there is a big difference in the hits and the crits. There'll be, at some point, I will do a video on the actual differences between the wording for attacking in melee and attacking at ranged. I believe, as of recording this video, that would apply to this as well. I I could be wrong, although I think there's an overlap, I must admit. But it will definitely apply in close combat, as Grievous doesn't have any surges naturally to him. So fighting a Jedi, which doesn't actually specifically state has to be a Jedi, has to be a unit with the Force upgrade icon. So that could be Count Dooku, that could be Darth Maul, it could be Darth Vader, it could be Emperor Palpatine. You get the gist. It goes on. So the fact it's marked as Jedi Hunter as a rule doesn't mean anything. It's the actual text that follows. Relentless, as the next one, is when General Grievous does a move action, he gets a free attack. So how that would work will be, I want that one. I'm just putting up my notes. So he moves into base contact. So he moves to. So we'll stick him there. So for the purpose of this, we'll just bring him like closer, but you get the point. And you can pre-measure in this game. So we'll stick him there. So he's going to, let's go with his first action will be dodge. So we'll take that, and he'll move to here as his second action, and then as his free attack action. And there's a clear-cut difference between free action and free attack action, which will be described in much more detail in a separate video. General Grievous can now attack the Phase 1 clone troopers, which he will do so, and he will go and be more than likely to murder the crap out of them. So fight, kill, he is likely to kill them all or kill many of them. So yeah, that's his relentless ability. Lots of characters do get relentless, mostly those with lightsabers. One of Grievous's selling points, and this is his final ability that he has on his card, is scale. So what you can do, so we'll put him here with his token. Scale means he gains the two special keywords, unhindered and expert climber. Unhindered means you ignore the effects of difficult terrain, i.e. like cover, like this, the barriers, the cliff face, buildings, that sort of thing. Crates, not buildings, I do like, but crates, area terrain, stuff like that. Expert climber, as his other special rule that he gets built into scale, is while clambering, so climbing up the side of a building, do not roll defense dice or suffer wounds. So if you roll defense dice, and if you get blanks, I believe, as of recording this video, that unit takes wounds as they lose their footing, misplace hands, they lose grip, stuff like that. General Grievous doesn't care. He'll just climb up it without an issue. So now comes the fun part. How would I go about making him effective? And I would be inclined to go with, me personally, would go with tenacity to really double down on his close combat abilities. So the idea is that if he's wounded, which it's going to happen because he is a literal monster. I mean, he's going to get shot at, he's going to get beaten up in combat. So you might as well play into the inevitable. So tenacity is while performing a melee attack if you are wounded, or if one or more of your minions have been defeated, add one red attack die to your attack pool. So you get both, in this case, where is he? We'll throw him in there. Scale surprises in combat. So you roll like this. So we have 2 red because we're combining both pools here because it's the same weapon and you're fighting the same unit, so you might as well just roll all the dice in one. So we've got 2 red, 4 black, and 2 white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So going back to earlier where Grievous took 2 wounds. Oh, come on. Really? There we go. So he's taken 2 wounds. His dodge token. And you can take that as well. So he has his. So he's taken 2 wounds because the card does say if you are wounded, which he is. So a wounded. So it's on a model by model basis, not a unit. So if a unit is made up of a bunch of 1 wound models, such as the clone troopers, as shown earlier, they cannot ever be wounded because they're either alive or they're dead. If they have multiple wounds, say 2 or more, 3 or more, and so on, then they can be wounded, which is where this comes in. As an example, so Grievous has 8 wounds. So for discussion's sake, he took 2 from earlier. Tenacity, he gets added in. So we can go, that's his normal attack pool. You go +1 extra because of tenacity. And that just helps him actually hit just a little bit harder. And that'll be, it's a common card to put onto close combat monsters actually, like who are supposed to be there. Actually leave it at that because he's got one job and that's just to mulch stuff in combat. So yeah, the Annihilator pistol, if you can spare the points, by all means go for it. It's not a bad upgrade. I've never personally taken it, but it's not a bad weapon, not by any measure, and it means he can contribute to the fight as he gets into close combat. So if you can spare the points in your army list, then go for it. I don't see an issue with it, and that's pretty much Grievous. So one other thing is Impact 1, and that's on his lightsabers. So Impact 1 counteracts armor. And now Saber Tank and a number of vehicles have the armor keyword, which is while defending, and this qualifies against both ranged attacks and melee attacks, cancel all hit results. So only critical damage can wound this vehicle. Or wound vehicles that have the armor keyword. Impact 1 means all these dice, so we are assuming that he's taking his 2 wounds. We roll that. There we are. So we can go hit, 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 hit. Oh, look, there's a surge token. Cough. They go away. Yeah. So these hits would ordinarily just bounce right off. Because Grievous has Impact 1, one of these dice counts as a crit, which we'll put as that. So the Saber Tank now has to do his saving throw, which is a red, I do believe. Where's it gone? Yep, it's red. If he saves it, he takes no damage. If he fails it, then he takes 1 wound. That's literally Impact 1, and Impact is on a lot of weaponry in lightsabers and missile launchers, stuff like that. Anti-armor weaponry is where it's really at for Impact. So that is General Grievous. And if we move along to Count Dooku. So I've moved Count Dooku over to here just because it's easier. Now the man himself is known as Darth Tyrannus. He was the shadow, I guess, shadow leader. One probably for a better term. Certainly was the master of General Grievous, and was the hidden leader of the Separatist army during the Clone Wars. His master was Chancellor Palpatine, who then ended up becoming Supreme Emperor of the Galaxy, as we all know and love, if that's your favourite jam. Okay, so I've set this up to properly demonstrate how cunning works here on the deserty planet of Geonosis. So I've picked out a couple of stuff for both sides. The blue is for the blue bases are the droids, the red is for the clone troopers. So the pips here represent the priority. So if Count Dooku plays Assault, that's him saying, I'm prepared to bid 3 points, as it were. The clones say, you know what, I'll also play Assault. So that's a 3 pip card. You then have to roll off to see who starts placing their tokens, not solely first, but who activates their units first. And that is literally a red die, which one of you roll, and the other person calls it, whether block or blank, well, pick icon or blank, or of that nature. Now, when you have Count Dooku on the table, and his special ability makes, special ability called Cunning makes the pip number count as 1 less. So here we are, we've played Assault, just like the clone troopers have. Now it's a 3 pip card, but if you turn around and say, oh yeah, by the way, Count Dooku has Cunning, and play that special rule that he has on his card, right over here, the top one, it now becomes a 2 pip card, which now means your forces get to start activating sooner than the clones. So that would mean, as Assault is a 3 units, you could go, I've just dashed around stuff here, so you can go 1, 2, 3. As shown before, you could do more B1s and data chain, but this is the general concept. Then the clones put down their tokens. Now, because Assault now qualifies as a 2 pip card because of the Cunning special rule, you can then go, well, I now have priority, and go, well, I will take, for example, a move, and then move again, for example, straight into combat and potentially be able to fight these ARC troopers, or you could get these droids to soften them up first, these ones, that sort of thing. So you can do a lot more flexibility by going just that little bit quicker than your opponent, and that is how Cunning works. Because Count Dooku has the deflect ability, it means when he spends a dodge token, he gets the following abilities. While a unit that has the deflect keyword, which is right there, is defending, if it spends any dodge token, any defense surge results are converted to block results. Additionally, if the attack is ranged, the attacker suffers 1 wound for each surge result rolled by the defender during the roll defense die step. The defender must spend a dodge token to gain the benefits of the deflect keyword, aka to activate the ability. Spending this dodge token cancels 1 hit result as normal, so you get the effects of the normal dodge token in addition to the deflect ability, as long as you spend that token. The defender may spend additional dodge tokens to cancel out additional hits. However, doing so does not improve or add any benefit to the deflect keyword. If the defender uses the deflect keyword during an attack, it is possible for the attacker to be defeated during the roll defense step. If the deflect keyword inflicts a number of wounds that causes the attacker to be defeated, the attack still continues and the defender can still suffer wounds. We'll grab this Bark Speeder simply because about time we used it. So the Bark Speeder is going to fire the twin light blaster cannons, and he's got Arsenal too. We'll stick that. We'll do that as well, just because we can. So 1 black, 3 red, and 3 white. Okay, so we've got the dice. So we'll roll these, and these are all going to be targeting Count Dooku. Apart from the fact that was a god awful roll, we have this. So normally you can use aim tokens and whatnot to buff these, but once again, a separate video on tokens will be out on that. So what we do is we give a suppression token to Count Dooku. So ding. And then we will activate the deflect ability. So we will spend a dodge token, which will mean that hit goes away. I am assuming off the top of my head, because I've never used a Bark Speeder. Yep, so we got the surge to hit. So keep things simple, like that. You go in there, you go in there. So that's cancelled. So we have 1 hit and 1 crit. Now the black die is cancelled, the surge die is cancelled, only because it keeps things simple, but because we're spending a dodge token, it counts as a it removes a singular hit. So we have 2 hits to worry about. So the deflect ability, once again, we have to roll surge dice. Dice which comes up with the surge icon. So we have red defense dice. There, so we have these. So we're looking for this icon. This icon is what we're after. And we have 1. So this means Count Dooku takes a wound. Starts off with. And where's he gone? He's over here. And we should also make his base red as well. Boom. Now because that is a surge, and then because we activated the defense, the deflect ability, the attacker, being the bike, takes 1 wound. It's as simple as that. The attacker, so the Bark Speeder in this case, but could be the tank, could be the Phase 1 clone troopers, could be anything. Though it's just a straight wound, that's the end of it. It doesn't matter if they're behind cover or whatever. It's just a simple wound. That's the end all. And that's it. That's literally the deflectability. It's handy, and there are ways to buff it, but that's pretty much how the deflectability works. Immune Pierce. So earlier, when we was talking about the Pierce special rule in regards to General Grievous, Count Dooku is immune to the Pierce special rule. So everything that was talked about for Pierce doesn't apply to him. He is, however, a excellent duelist, and that shows here with the Makeshi Mastery, which is his 4th ability that he has on his card, which reads, while performing a melee attack, you may reduce the pierce value of your melee weapon by 1, which is his lightsaber, from 2 to 1. If you do so, the defender cannot use immune pierce. So a lot of Jedi, if not all of them, or rather Force users, I should say, have immune pierce because they are Force users. It's a simple byproduct, and what this allows is for Count Dooku to literally get right in their face as a proper duelist and best them on a one-to-one basis. Hence, him having the ability to ignore their immune pierce special, which is shown here. Now, a master of the Force is at the end of your activation. You may ready up to 2 Force upgrade cards. So, Force upgrade cards, as we talked about earlier, slightly covered with Obi-Wan Kenobi, is literally all the Force powers that a Force user can do. Dark side Force users like Darth Vader, Darth Maul, Count Dooku, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, and Anakin Skywalker actually can access the dark side of the Force abilities, whereas light side Force users like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker actually, he can access both sides. But they are only restricted to the light side of the Force. So, at the end of your activation means when he's done his actions, he can then ready his cards again for the next turn. So, if we went with Force Push, and then let's go with Force Choke. Did he choke? No. Saber Throw. Okay. So, where is he? So on these cards, you'll see some different icons. This one, the arrow in the green box, means it is a expendable card, a disabled card if you're coming from a Star Wars X-Wing Armada type background. Basically, it means it can be used every other turn at best. So how it works is this icon here, the split chevron arrow, means it's a free action. So we move Count Dooku to where he is. Dodge token goes away. Notice that goes away. He will then grab a enemy trooper unit at range 1, which let's say is these guys here. For illusion's sake, you can then move them up to speed 1. Close enough without measuring, but you get the point. And then that's a free action. So you can then go like that. And then what he can then do as his second action, he can do Force Lightning if he really wanted to, which he might as well. So we can literally just give him the jazz hands and potentially put down a couple of the clone troopers. A good combination for him would be, so this is where because he also has, rather for him run along, he has Surge to Crit, which is really good. Impact 2 we discussed with over here with General Grievous. PS2 we all know and love now. And PS1 with the lightning. Scatter reads, reads, after a unit performs an attack using a weapon with the scatter keyword against a trooper unit, which these clone troopers, whose minis are affixed to small bases, it may move any non-unit leader minute in a defending unit following all the rules of cohesion, as if the defending unit leader had just performed a standard move. Where's leader there? So we go you there, you there, you there, you there, and then you could have droidicas or bunch of B1 battle droids or something like that just here, which I can quickly spawn for you. Got the card. Who can then go, oh, Roger, Roger, blah, 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 and try and gun them down. That sort of idea. So it brings them closer. So yeah, there's that. That's Force Lightning, or Dooku's Lightning. So once again, how would I go about setting up Count Dooku? So I've never used him, but I would be inclined to go with, I wouldn't go with Saberthor actually. Reflex, definitely. Gain a free dodge token every turn. So I'd be inclined to do that. And maybe, if you would want to, Force Barrier on more of the expensive units that you have in your army list. If you're going away from the B1 Battle Droid spam, Fear could be interesting to work with actually, but who knows? Anger would go nice with both his lightning attacks and his saber attacks. But more often than not, me personally, I'd stick it just to Force Reflex. So one more thing before we move on to the T-Series Battle Droid is when you use this card, because it has the arrow here, you can go like, you can flip it over, you can do all sorts with this. However you want to mark it down to say it has been used. At the end of your activation, so you can go, oh, move, fight, whatever this is. His activation is done. You then ready your card, again, for free. You don't have to do anything about it because he has Master of the Force. Because he has Master of the Force 2, he can do that twice with a separate card. So if he has Force Barrier, which once again has the same expendable type thing, so he can go, well, that droid trooper unit, the B2s, are in open ground. I'll do Force Barrier while they're being shot at, try and make their lives a little bit easier. And because I did move, I'll get this. And you can just reset them, so you don't have to do anything with them. If a character doesn't have this, or they take 3, you can choose up to 2 of these for free to put back to a normal ready state, if you will. And then you can use a recover action instead of doing a normal action to recover any and all of the cards that you want, as long as they've got this arrow here in the green box. But I wouldn't be inclined to take more cards than Force Powers, more than Master of the Force, in this case 2, because points, and B, arguably more importantly, characters are really expensive, so they've got to keep on doing their job, and they need all the actions they can get, especially when you're limited to 2. So 2 actions rather. So that is Count Dooku. So moving on to the T-Series Tactical Droid. These recently appeared in the Clone Wars TV series, starting from the early seasons, season 1, season 2. They are the droid commanders. These guys do not have any business being near the front lines. They also have no business being anywhere by the middle of the lines either. Absolutely excellent supporting character. I mean, fantastic. I would highly recommend any Separatist player to get at least one of these. maybe 2, but definitely 1 for sure, because he adds so much to your list, and it's not just about what he himself can do personally, but it's the fact he can support other models and other units. And at the time of actually recording this video, he is 55 points, so he's dirt cheap. I don't know how much it's going to be. The model box is going to be in your local currency in the real world, but definitely for 55 points for what he brings to the table. Rotating around. There we go. We've all seen the droids look like this, and his jam is literally to stand right at the back and tell other droid units what to do. So I'll bring up his thing again. Take his card. So his thing is, let's start from the top. Here, one of his abilities is an action called Bolster 2. Choose up to 2 friendly units at range 1. Each chosen unit gains a surge token. Now we've seen how good surge tokens are already, both with the clone troopers in the previous video, as well as the separatist one I did, the B1 droid coordinated ability. Yeah, I'll run through it again because it's such a fantastic ability to have. We've also seen the surge token actually with General Grievous and Count Dooku. So that's his action, that's what he can do. He can direct a droid trooper unit. During the command phase, you may issue an order to a friendly droid trooper unit at range 1 to 2. I demonstrated this in the droids and the how to place this droids with the token passing along mechanic, the coordinated ability. I would highly recommend checking out that video where I go into detail about how that works, as well as how this particular character, can influence that. Sharpshooter 1 is a common ability actually, which on a lot of characters, which is while performing a ranged attack, reduce the defender's cover by 1. So cover is an interesting mechanic because if I go to view, Count Dooku, you no longer serve a purpose to me, and you boys can go back behind the cover, and Grievous, like Dooku, you now no longer serve a purpose. So Sharpshooter 1 means cover is reduced by 1, and that goes away. So light cover is a -1 shot, -1 hit to incoming damage, to incoming shots. So if I fire 3 shots and I get 3 hits, light cover reduces the amount of hits by 1. So it comes to 2 hits. If it's heavy cover, example, Clone Commander is on here, or back there, but get the point. And I shoot across the heavy cover, it reduces the amount of hits by 2. Critical hits aren't stopped by cover, so that won't make a particular difference. But you don't bring the tactical droid for the sharpshooter ability or his pistol, or rifle rather. You bring him there to bolster your B1s, your B2s, whatever your list contains. You bring him to buff them. That's his job. He's only got one job, and that's just bolster, and that's just passing that on. So bolster, if you notice, is choose up to 2 friendly units, not droid trooper, not characters, friendly units, which applies to the battle tank. So he could stand next to this and go, oh, here we are, mate, as my first action, have a surge token, which would be absolutely fantastic on this, actually. With the amount of firepower he can put out, that'd be really good. Or he can go, well, you know what? B1 droids, you have a surge token because I said so. And let's go with another B1 droid unit because I said so. Surge token. Surge tokens for everybody, basically. That's him. Now, he can only do that once, but that arrow is his own personal ability. So, how would I go about setting him up? How would I go about building him for my list? Simply, aggressive tactics. That's it. He doesn't need anything else. It is literally the best thing for him. And aggressive tactics reads, while you are the nominated commander, which goes into the command cards, after issuing orders, choose up to 4 friendly units with face-up order tokens, and each chosen unit gains 1 surge token. So we go spawn, I get this. A face-up order token, as a quick reminder, is this. This is not. This is. So we can have him here, and okay, so I spawned in 3 units of B1 battle droids and a unit of B2 battle droids, just for a little bit of variety because of them. For some reason the red side is a little bit broken at the moment, so I added the blue side, but no matter. So what we do to really make the best out of this guy, when you draw your cards, your command cards, for the purpose of the video, we'll take this one. Simply because it has 3 units. Your opponent will be more likely to choose a different card, but that's irrelevant. So what we do is we can go put 1 face-up order token on our tactical our commander here, and then we'll go 1 with here. That's 2, and then for the 3rd unit, we'll put it here. Our blue. Now, because they're within, so we then put this one here, which then allows to pass an order token to here because of the droid coordinate ability, and then there as well. So this is where the really cool shit starts happening. So first unit, well, first thing we do is, because we are the nominated commander in this list, what we do is, and now bear in mind, I haven't used the direct ability, but I could have done so, he says, because they are within range 2 of the T-Series tactical droids. I could have put this one on another unit that was say over here or something, and that's perfectly legal because of the direct droid trooper unit. The B1s have droid trooper, and so do the B2s. So you could have done it that way, or I could have, but for the purpose of the video, this is good enough. So, because we are nominated commander, after issuing orders, which we have done, choose up to 4 friendly units with face-up order tokens. Each unit gains 1 surge token. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we do, we grab them, and this is from the aggressive tactics card. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's literally it for the aggressive tactics card, and this is every turn that you can do so. Your first unit, because we beat a 3, and let's say the clones put down a card with a 4 pip. We go, oh look, we will activate him, the T-Series droid. So what do? We can then go, well, first action is bolster. Choose up to 2 friendly units at range 1. Each chosen unit gains a surge token. So range 1 is currently this, which is these 3. But to be honest, the B2 battle droids are much better shots than the B1s. So we will move. Starts off with to go here as his first action, and then second action is to bolster. and then we'll put another search token on these B2 droids, and then these two, and this unit of B1 droids here. And once again, it's not has to be droid trooper. It can be vehicles as well, which, as I quickly showed earlier, the battle tank would actually be quite beneficial to have this. So what we can then say is, well, clones do something else, something over here, whatever. Next unit that activates for us is these guys. And while we don't have in this particular setup anything to basically threaten the saber tank, we can try and have a potential munch at these clones over here. So with the arm cannons, we are range 2, as well as with the upgraded guy that we have in that unit. We are out of range, so it goes 1, 2. So we can just move, and then we can shoot at something over here, and then we can use both those tokens to aid both in our defense and offense as well. Whereas ordinarily we wouldn't have. Now, that's not to say that offensive aggressive tactics can only be put onto this guy. You can put onto any commander or operative character. It's only the fact that the aggressive tactics card works so well with this guy means it just stacks up, and you can make some good use out of him. For 55 points is a complete and utter bargain. So I would highly recommend anybody to get your hands on this guy. Alrighty, so we have Cad Bane. He appeared in the Clone Wars TV series as a private bounty hunter, very well known within the underworld circles. Blue guy, hat, always likes his hat. He comes with a number of cool abilities, and I must admit, I actually quite like him. I've never used him, but I think he's got some potential. I do like what he brings to the table. So first things first, he has jump 1. So perform a move during which you ignore terrain that is height 1 or lower. This is treated as a move action. So stuff like this, or stuff like this. You ignore the actual movement penalty. You just declare, oh, jump hack, fly over, as long as your movement allows it. Ultimately, you still have to obey your maximum speed, but it's a really cool thing. And jetpacks and a lot of the light side force users have the jump ability in some format. Bounty is his next one. After setup, place a victory token on an enemy commander or operative. If you defeat a unit with a victory token, move that token to you. At the end of that game, if you have a victory token, gain that token. What this means is that you can basically, if you don't have a physical token on to hand, or you don't want to clutter up the table with more tokens and all the rest of it than you really want to, at the start of the game, you can turn around and say, Cad Bane is going to target Obi-Wan Kenobi as his bounty. And as long as you kill Obi-Wan Kenobi, you get the bounty. And the bounty is worth 1 extra victory point at the end of the game. And victory points is how you win. There's no kill 'em all type thing. Victory points or go home. That's the bottom line truth with Star Wars Legion. His next ability is Danger Sense 2. You may choose to not remove your suppression tokens. While defending against a ranged attack, roll 1 extra defense die for each suppression token you have, adding up to a maximum of 2 extra dice. So most abilities are optional. there's very little reason to not use Sharpshooter 1 or Bounty or other things, but they are all optional if you so wish. And Danger Sense is a prime example of why this is optional. So when you go to remove suppression tokens, you need to roll a white die, which here, a defense die. And if you roll a blank, then you remove no tokens. If you roll a icon of any type, you remove one token. You do that, you roll that many dice as you have tokens. So if Cad Bane or whoever, a character of a description, has 2 suppression tokens, that character rolls 2 white defense dice. If they have 3 tokens, then they roll 3 defense dice. That is what I'm trying to get at. Danger Sense just allows you to turn around and say, you know what, Cad Bane is in the open. He's probably going to get ripped apart by something, whatever that may be. I'm going to keep his suppression tokens, and then that helps in his actual durability. So you get an extra. So when you have suppression tokens, it acts like cover. So it reduces the amount of shots, or the amount of hits, by 1 to a maximum of 2 per suppression token you have. So by that I mean, if you have 1 suppression token, you count as being in light cover if you are not already. If you have 2 or more tokens, you count as being in heavy cover if you are not in cover already. If you're in light cover and you have 2 suppression tokens, then you count as being in heavy cover because 1 suppression token adds light cover. So you always move up by 1 cover step, if that makes sense. Danger Sense allows you to go, well, I'm out in the open, and I will keep my up to 2 suppression tokens, and then the clone troopers go, oh well, why is here? We'll shoot him. Shoot Cad Bane, score, let's say, discussion's sake, 5 hits. So we have 5 white dice, and then because of Danger Sense 2, we will keep the 2 suppression tokens. So the 5 hits, this is after cover, so 7 hits minus 2 because of the minus 2 hits because of the 2 suppression tokens. So while defending against a ranged attack, roll 1 extra defense die per suppression token we have, or you have. So he has 2 suppression token. So these 2 are bonus dice to this particular roll. So we add them in, and then we roll. So we are actually currently hoping he has surge to block, which he does. So he takes, out of those 5 hits, because these 2 were bonus dice, they can help, but at the end of it, they're bonus dice. So he takes 4 wounds. No, he doesn't take 4 wounds. I'll do it like he takes 1 wound out of the 5 hits he took because of the 2 suppression tokens that he had. So it just allows him to actually be a little bit more mobile, and yeah, it's actually really good in that sense. Sharpshooter 1 as his next ability. As we talked about with the T-Series tactical droids, while performing a ranged attack, reduce the defender's cover by 1. If the target shooting Cad Bane has Sharpshooter 1, you're only considered to have 1 suppression token for the purposes of that particular attack roll. Steady is his final ability that he has built into him. After you perform a move action, you may perform a free ranged attack action. So what we'll do is we shall spawn Cad Bane. So for the purposes of this, I will chuck him. Let's chuck him. So I brought Cad Bane up to here, so we can show off what he can actually go and do, at least in theory. So with his pistols, they are range 2. So once again, at home, you'll have your range rule if you brought the starter box, whether the Clone Wars or the normal Legion one, the Empire and the Rebels in it. So we got range 1 and range 2 here. So as you can see, he's out of range to shoot anything that is not droid. So what we can do, because he has the steady rule, where he can perform a free ranged attack action after he's made a normal move action, we shall go move to here. So you don't have to go as far as this just to get around. So we'll just go here. Reason is that we can still not be within line of sight of these ARC troopers. And then the saber tank will have to move, putting its side armor at risk of all these shots coming in from the B2, B1 and B2 battle droids actually. So the saber tank is basically pinned back there. So Cad Bane is pretty much safe up here to some extent. Yes, he has to deal with this lot, but that's what he's going to do. So he's in range 2. So he can shoot the clone troopers. Yes, they'll get light cover, but he does have sharpshooter 1, which in this case will ignore any light cover. So he can then shoot with that. So Cad Bane has the Electro Gauntlets upgrade card. Like before, it is a disable type card. So when you use it, I personally prefer to flip it like this, but some people can flip it over if they so wish, or they can put it somewhere else in a disable pile, however you like to play it. So it's melee only, which you use instead of his martial arts thing, as he doesn't have the arsenal keyword. You can perform moves while engaged with a unit that has one or more immobilized token, even if this card is exhausted. Immobilize 3, which a unit wounded by an attack, which includes this weapon, gains 3 immobilized tokens. So immobilize means a unit's maximum speed is reduced by 1 for each immobilized token it has. A unit whose maximum speed is 0 and has at least 1 immobilized token cannot climb, clamber, reverse, or pivot. At the end of a unit's activation, it removes any immobilized tokens it has. A unit with 1 or more immobilized tokens can still perform Speed X moves or have Speed X moves performed with it through other game effects outside of its normal activation, even if its maximum speed is 0. So units which have a compulsory move, such as the Bark Speeder here, they still get to do their compulsory move. Well, they still have to do it because it's compulsory, but after that they can't move again because they're immobilized. The compulsory rule just takes over for that moment. And suppressive means that if any one of the, in this case, 4 red dice hit, rather than adding 1 suppression token, it adds 2. So suppression does actually help quite a bit in that regard. I like it. I like the suppressive rule. So how would I go out and about to equip Cad Bane? And so I've gone ahead and pulled out what cards I would use to add to Cad Bane. And the first one is Precise 1, which is from the Targeting Scopes upgrade card. When you spend an aim token, reroll up to 1 additional die. The fact that you get that with him is actually, when he moves, is actually really cool. So you could do a aim token first, then move, and then get a free shooting attack with his blaster pistols. Is really nice. If he's shooting a character, which to try and boost the chance of you getting a victory point from the bounty special rule, he gets an aim token, so he can move with and then get a aim token, but aim then shoot with his steady special rule that has built in, and then while you're gathering your black dice for the roll attack step, you can gain an aim token, which you can then spend, if you so need to, on precise 1 to roll 1 additional die. So it's a nice little combo that works out really well. You also have surge to hit as well, so it can do some work. It can do some work, and I like this little combo. I will have to play it at some point in order to see what it's truly like, but in theory, this is really nice, and I do like it. The final character we have to show for the Separatists is Darth Maul, first apprentice of the Chancellor Palpatine. So, first things first, he has Jump 1. We talked about that with his companion in the opposite section, Cad Bane. So, yep, he has Deflect. We know all about that. You need to spend a dodge token. If it's a ranged attack, they take a wound. Every time you roll a surge, we've seen that with Count Dooku. Immune Pierce, once again, Count Dooku on that. Now, his final ability is if you are wounded, you can perform 1 additional action during your activation. You're still limited to 1 attack action, and that is separate to a free attack action. So Duo Mastery, additional action. So we could go with an aim token, go with a dodge token. An aim token doesn't have to be used for shooting. It can be used in melee combat as well. Darth Maul has no melee combat potential has no ranged combat potential in the slightest. It's just pure close combat. That's the be all and end all. As you can see, he doesn't have surge to hit or surge to defense. He has to take it. That's the end of it. The only thing he's got really going for him in defensive nature is the red die for his off-forward armor save, but that's it. Impact 2, which is good against vehicles, and Pierce 2, which we have talked about before. So, yeah. Other than that, how would I go about upgrading him? Well, he doesn't have Mastery of the Force, so I would be very much inclined to go with Force Push, because as shown earlier with Count Dooku, we can grab a trooper unit. So I'll grab him. This B2 droid will represent Darth Maul, and we can go, well, we'll grab you guys, drag you about here as a free action. So you go, oh no, we'll take an aim token. Sure, free action, use Force Push to drag them closer, and then second action, charge, and get straight stuck into combat. That's perfectly viable. Another one you could do is Force Reflexes, Tenacity as another perfectly good viable upgrade for him. You could do not that one. Offensive push, perhaps. Situational awareness would actually be quite nice. So situational awareness allows you to use dodge tokens to cancel critical hit results. Ordinarily, dodge results can only cancel normal hits, not critical hits, which is why situational awareness is a fantastic card to use. So those are my general things. I would be very much inclined to consider definitely tenacity. It even with 6 wounds and deflect and immune to pierce, at some point he's going to get shot at or he's going to get punched in the face and he's going to take wounds. So as before with General Grievous, you might as well expect it and you might as well do something about it. Force Reflex, it'd be good to get much more up close and personal while taking dodge tokens, which then you can actually use on the deflect special ability. Force Push, as I showed just now, fantastic for him. The thing is to remember, he doesn't have Mastery of the Force, so in order to recover these 2 cards, like so you can go, oh yeah, I've moved, I will now do a free action to get the dodge token, exhaust this card, and then you can then do Force Push to exhaust this card, charge and all the rest of it, get stuck in combat. His following turn, if you want to use these cards again, you have to use a recover action. There's no limit on how many cards you want to recover. You just declare recovery action on Darth Maul, on Darth Vader, on Emperor Palpatine, whoever, and then you can recover all cards with this symbol on, every single one on that unit. So just be aware that is a limitation that you can be aware of. Darth Maul, when you buy him on the shelf, he does come with Sith probes as a detachment. This allows a multitude of things. The biggest one is that you have the observe tokens. So you can only take these while you are bringing Darth Maul. That's the be-all and end-all. So observe means you can re-roll a single hit die against the target. So if we had the probes, so we'll use Cad Bane here as an example. So he'll be a probe. He can go, well, observe 3, like so, and then go, well, observe token on, grab them for now, you, one there, and let's say 1 on you, the clone commander, right? Sorted. And then the rest of your forces, whether it's a Droideka, the battle tank, a bunch of these B1s, they can go, we'll shoot, spend the observe token, get potentially extra hits, mow them down, move on to the next one, move on to the next one. So that's a really cool ability for them to have. They ignore height terrain of 1 or lower, so stuff like this, stuff like this, hills, all that. So they just literally float over it. That's really handy. And enemy units beyond range 1 cannot shoot them unless if you have attacked, defended against an enemy attack, or performed an objective card action. So they are untargetable until they're either in your face, almost literally, or they have actually done something from the offensive nature. So they could go observe 3, sorry, and then they could go and move. As long as they stay more than range 1 away, they can't be shot at. So they can actually be very, very handy. So yeah, okay, here we are. So spawn Darth Maul. This is what you get. So you get the Zabrak himself in his typical lovely Phantom Menace outfit, and you get the Sith probe droids with the little blue lights in this case, because those count as one singular unit. So they can go to here. As long as they're outside range 1, they can go observe, observe, and observe on 3 units and help get more shots down and more quality of shots as well. All for 35 points. So Darth Maul has one final special thing that he can do. It's not listed on his data card because it's something that he can get through his choice of command cards. So this is something that you as a player can actually go and choose to take if you so wish. So once again, I've just reused the same units for the earlier explanation of the cunning special rule for Darth Tyrannus, Count Dooku, if you prefer which are the name. Cut. 3, 2, 1. So Darth Maul has one final special ability which is worth talking about, and that is Infiltrate. So I've kept everything the same. I've just moved the droids around a little bit and added another unit of droids in, just because it makes things flow a bit better. Darth Maul and his 3 units, keep it green so you can see, his 3 companions of, see that, of his Sith probe droids are right here. So the attachment, as explained earlier, is that they have to hang around with Darth Maul as its attachment Maul. Range 1-2, so they have to be relatively nearby. So to give you some sort of general idea, put you up on there, and so we got range 1, range 2. So it's a medium sort of distance away, in all honesty, that they can stay to. So because they're part of, so they become quite close with him. His command cards are allowing to disengage combat if he gets, if he wants to, and there's another special ability where he can get other bonuses against Sith users and the like. But this one is the most important one for what I'm trying to explain, which is called the Phantom Menace, which I like the title of. It's a nice reference to the film itself. So it's Maul himself and 1 trooper unit. Maul cannot attack. Enemy units beyond range 2 of Maul cannot attack him. During the unit's step, Maul gains the Infiltrate keyword. During the first round, Maul and friendly Sith probe droids units cannot perform objective card actions. Discard this card after it is revealed. So let's say, for discussion's sake, we are set up and the Arcs can scout on ahead, which will be a separate video when we come to it. And so are these guys for some upgrade. So we can go the yellow-based guys. Let's say Infiltrate, for discussion's sake, at the start of round 1, something along these lines. So you play the card, and it's a 2-pip card, so odds are we'll be going either the same time as we'll be a dice off to go see who goes first during round 1, or we will get to go first. So they can't attack, but that's okay. And enemy units can't attack Maul either, of a range 2, so that's okay as well. These probe droids can't be attacked over range 1 because of their incognito special rule, so fine. Objective cards, actions, so stuff like claiming objective markers and stuff like that, he can't do. So Darth Maul and 1 trooper unit. So if we said give him, so we have to give him that, and let's go with this. So is the first unit on here is Darth Maul. So when you read out this, it doesn't matter which order you go in because it's just printed there. It's like whatever. But as long as you actually do what it says here, so I could put down this first and then Darth Maul, it's not going to make a difference. Okay, so Darth Maul has to have a token, a face-up order token, and we've given it to these guys. So as we know from the coordinated droid ability, because in range 1 we can do this. So what we want to do is we really want to get we want to protect Darth Maul because quite frankly the ARC troopers can make a bit of a mess of him. So we give him a dodge token straight off the bat. And then we will go, as because of his deflectability, we will then go with a move, which will be right into here. So we'll go there. So this is his 2 actions, and then we will take a second dodge token because of force reflex, and we'll go like that. Excuse me. So he has 2 dodge tokens now, and yes, tokens like this can stack. And then what we will do is we'll get rid of that, and then we will use force push because even if it's engaged, they can perform a range 1 move. Now it doesn't. So that's not. So when you use force push, it doesn't matter what direction you move them in, which is the really cool thing. So what we'll do is we will go range 1. Now we want to get these ARC troopers out of cover, and we realistically want to try and get as much damage on them as possible because ARC troopers are absolutely fantastic. Okay, so what we'll do, we will get these ARC troopers to move out into the open. So we shall go and force them to do a move 1, which is that. So tiny. So here's the thing, the leader. So we'll go leader out to there. You're done, but we will go cohesion range to keep everybody inside. Then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. That's theirs, so I don't need that no more. And then it'll be their turn because that's his free action right there. So you then turn that to there. The smart play would be for the in this particular setup here with the ARC troopers to tear hell into both of these droid trooper units, but that is what it is. So let's say, for discussion's sake, they rip through this squad. Bye-bye. And then a couple of them, I do lie. So at the end of the turn, you lose these tokens. So both dodge tokens go away. And that stays there. So you pull out another card. Let's say, discussion's sake, is Roger. Doesn't particularly matter, but this is what you can go and do. You go and do your recover action first with Darth Maul to recover both force reflex and force push. Now force push in this particular bit isn't going to make that much of a difference, but what you do, you recover, you move to there. Then you burn up force push again, not force push, force reflex to get your dodge token, so you can get deflect back up. And then for your second action, you can move straight into combat, like so. Now, because you don't have the because he doesn't have the charge special rule, so he can't do a free attack action, but it gets him tied in. He gets stuck into combat. Okay, so let's say, for discussion's sake, along the way, these clone troopers decide to shoot Darth Maul, and we kill. But through the deflect ability, we go, oh, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. Okay. So, off the playing area, and off the playing area. So, he's wounded. Dodge token goes away. This is where tenacity comes in, and also for his Gyro mastery. So we take a wound marker, which is stuck right over there. We'll stick it next to him. So once again, we do action number 1, which is recover action. We then move like so. There we go, get a dodge token. So we use up the thing again, the force reflex, and then we can move straight into combat. But if we choose not to recover, instead what we can do is move to here for first action. Second action will be to charge straight into combat. Where's the leader? There. Charge straight into here. Take his wound marker. And then because he's wounded, give that, he can then do a third action, which is going to be fight. So because also wounded, so before all that, we get 4 black, 4 red, and 4 white dice for his attack. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what he gets when he fights. He will then get an extra 1 because he's wounded, and because he's wounded, he gets 1 extra red die into his attack pool. So he's literally rolling 9 dice. So we roll that, and we have a grand total of, so he doesn't get surge to anything, but what he does get is actually a nice roll. So we get 5 hits with Pierce 2. So these clone troopers will need to roll blank. How many? 5. I need to roll. I've got 6, but I need to roll exceptionally well. Pierce 2 gets rid of that and that. So they count as blanks. So that's 3, 4, 5 blanks. So he carves his way straight through the 2 clone troopers. So yes, it was a 2-man unit in this case, but the general concept is that if you put them into units where they are close enough together like this, you can chain off attacks. So you could go the next round, let's say one guy survives. You could go attack for your first action. Then you can go move up into here for discussion's sake as a second. And then because he's wounded, for his third action, for Gyro Mastery, he can then fight again. So when he gets going, he can really start chopping through units left, right, and centre. But he is a scalpel, so throwing him straight into your opponent's lines isn't going to work. You need to use him specially. Now, for these probe droids, they have the observe, so they can float around, and as long as they just go, move, and observe. So range 1 to 3, they can that one. So range 1 to 3, they put an observation token down. So range, here we are, 1, 2, 3. They can put an observation token right here. These droidekas can open up on these clone troopers, and then so they can aim, shoot with an observation token to get an additional reroll. And if any survive, Darth Maul can just charge in, as it were, and kill them off, or more stuff can shoot them, that sort of thing. So if you use Darth Maul and these probes really well, quite correctly, in a game that can go in your favor, if you do so, it will go in your favor. But you need to keep an eye on Darth Maul and what he's going to do, because there are some really good combos, unique combinations out there which can make an absolute mess of him, because he doesn't have surge to hit, he doesn't have surge to block. He's only got the red die here and deflect to keep him going, so you need to have a dodge token on him. Hence, force reflex is a fantastic thing to have, but you do need to spend up what needs to burn up one of his actions to keep continually getting it. So if he's wounded, then you get your 3 actions, and yeah, you can kind of do it that way. Note you can't move more than twice, so you can move, fight, or you can fight, move, fight. No, wait, move, fight, move, or you can fight, move, fight. Any combination like that, or you can go fight, move, recover, or fight, move, dodge token, anything like that. Because only while he's wounded. Until then, he only has 2 actions, just like everybody else. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. So yeah, next video will be on the Great Armies of the Galactic Republic. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button on this video, the subscribe button, hit the little bell as well. That comes up with the subscribe. Hit the subscribe button simply because you get notifications to when I upload new videos. Real life job at the moment is getting a little bit hectic as I'm recording this video because of summer and things are happening behind the scenes as far as work is concerned. Hopefully things will settle down soon, and then more videos will come out in due course. But until then, guys, thank you very much for watching.